Well, good morning. Full house this morning. It's nice. Beautiful weather, nice and cool out there today, right? Everybody knows how much cooler it was this morning early? It was beautiful. Everybody went walking around 5 or 6, right? Enjoyed the cool morning.
I don't think so.
I didn't get a yes out of anybody. Okay. We'll call the Washington County Commissioners Court is now in session Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025 at 9 a.m. And Commissioner Majewski, would you do the honors, please?
Yeah, today we have Mr. Robert Mabry from Faith Commission to lead us in invocation, then we'll do the pledges.
Hallelujah. Good morning,
Good morning.
Judge Commissioners, Washington County Commissioners Court. Do we realize and understand the authority that's been given to all of us? So, Heavenly Father, we come this morning saying thank you. Thank you for thinking and judging us worthy in your sight. Father, we thank you, and we come to you like Solomon, and we ask, Father, for the wisdom to guide your children, to guide your people. We thank you this morning, Father, for our health, our breath. We thank you for our lives, our strength. We thank you for your understanding, allowing and working through and in us. And we say thank you. Thank you that we get to see another day. Thank you that we get to work in your world to do your will, and we surrender ourselves unto you. Father, we say thank you. And we do it all in the mighty, majestic name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And I say, Yehoshua HaMashiach. Amen.
Amen.
Our pledges. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Item number 3, discussion and possible action on the approval of pending Washington County Expo rental regulations contracts. This morning we have 2 of those. One is for the American Junior Sembra Roundup Livestock Show, and the other is the Pig Sift.
I make a motion to approve pending Washington County Expo rental regulations and authorize the judge. Sign them, whatever you guys say.
I'll second it.
Do I have authority to sign them? Is that
Yeah,
it?
whatever
Okay,
I'm
all right.
supposed to say.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion
Oh,
carries.
I meant aye, no, yeah, sorry.
Okay, you want it affirmative?
Well, it was a little delayed. It was right when you said.
Okay. It's unanimous, okay.
Yes.
All right. Item number 4, discussion and possible action following Texas Parks and Wildlife, allowing Texas Parks and Wildlife to use the parking lot east of the constable's office for the upcoming hunting season for CWD collection, chronic wasting disease collection. Ms. Damron?
Good morning. Thank you for letting me come impose on your agenda. So we are already gearing up for deer season for the 25-26 season. It seems like we just finished deer season, right, guys? So yes, we are requesting the use of the parking lot there at 1405, just east of the constable's office. With your permission, we'll set up the check station again. This year is a little bit different. It's going to be voluntary. There's no requirement out of the 2-mile radius that we have had the last 2 years. I also provided an update on this last season. So statewide, we collected about 13,000 samples for whitetail deer. Out of Washington County, we had 167. Out of that 2-mile zone, we had 19. So that 2-mile, again, I think the first year that we presented this, it is not the biggest deer area, so those samples were expected to be low. It grew last year with the 19. Statewide, we're at about 1,100 positives, 981 of those being out of breeder facilities. And then I've also included 2 maps. The map at the top right shows all species collected, obviously the most being white-tailed deer, but we do have mule deer and exotics included. And then the bottom map is the distribution of samples collected here in Washington County.
So, were there any positives in Washington County?
We still remain at the one positive for March of '23.
That's all
That's
that's
the
ever
original-
been there?
The original one, yeah.
Correct.
Well, it's encouraging to see how small the number is in free-range deer in Texas. That's a very positive thing. Okay. All right,
Okay.
Mr. Eichler, would you like to add anything to this?
I would just thank you all very much for letting us use your property for the past 2 seasons, and hopefully a 3rd season.
Right.
Maybe one day we'll be able to say we don't need it anymore, but that's above my head.
Right. Well,
Thank you all.
thank you for being with us this morning.
That location, because we've hired seasonals for the deer season, and that location provides a great stop for those guys to kind of reload equipment, supplies, and then hang out there. And we do have people stop. We've had people stop to score deer at that location, so they know that it's there now. They know how to get in touch with us, and so it's been helpful. This is probably the last 3 years, because we've hired seasonals as well as myself collecting, we've been able to collect the most data over the last 3 years, and that's helpful for what we do to impose regulations, monitor the population and antler growth, so it helps out quite a bit, so.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to allow TPWD to use the parking lot east of the constable's office for the upcoming hunting season for the CWD collection.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 5, progress update by Plan North on the Expo and Judicial Center projects. Good morning, Ms. Birch.
Good morning. See, y'all have got a long agenda, but I have a lot of information, so I'll work through that quickly.
Okay.
I've been here a couple of times to update y'all on progress regarding the projects associated with the Washington County Expo Master Plan. So just a recap, that's all the projects associated with those parcels of land owned by the county, which are Expo adjacent. So that's Sheriff's Office and the property adjacent to that, across 577, and then obviously what the community knows as the fairgrounds proper, which is the Washington County Expo. So first, I want to tell you all a little bit about our efforts on the Expo proper, which is, again, what we kind of locally have always known as the fairgrounds. As I mentioned last time, we met with community stakeholder groups to kind of just talk about how we feel about that piece of property, what the needs are, kind of future projections. There was a lot of different opinions as you can imagine. So obviously some needs rose to the top. Most of those in terms of like real critical needs are related to infrastructure, some safety, electrical needs, heat control and ventilation in the barns is a really big concern. And I know firsthand that that's an issue. Accessibility and routes around the expo is important, and I don't mean that purely in a literal handicap accessibility sense. I just mean being able to get around easily, older people, kids. Drainage is also something that we are watching very carefully. We all know that drainage in Washington County is different than it was a few years ago, and so we're watching that. We're looking at different ways to handle that. And so I want to kind of tell you where we landed on that set of projects. Most of the community concerns had to do with those things I just described. Another big one was the entrance to the fairgrounds when you go to the Washington County Fair or events at the expo. Opening up where it currently does on Bluebell Road is presenting a lot of challenges. So kind of all in agreement that in the context of this project, that main entrance is probably going to come off Old Independence. So there'll be some reworking there. The community as a whole was really interested in looking at ways for us to do different things at the expo in groups. So, you know, places to meet, breakout rooms, and long term, and I mean very long term, I think it's in the master plan, in the 20-year plan, to think about some sort of larger event center on that site. That's a good ways down the road. So what we kind of landed on is looking at those current facilities that we have now to meet that need. So one of the good solutions that came out of that we're looking at, and we're looking at a couple of different things, but one good option is studying an addition and renovation to our current sales facility. We think there's just a lot of potential there. And we all know that when we're on that site, air conditioning is such a blessing. So we're looking at that seriously. We're also looking at the location of a covered rodeo arena, which we're really excited about. We believe that the recommendation for that location will be very close to where the community knows the rodeo arena goes now, so, or where it is currently. So we'll look at traffic flow regarding those projects. One of the things we're really thinking is that there might be a road that goes farther north on the property and lets out a little bit farther up on Old Independence. So that kind of, guess it kind of just loosens the constraint on that property because the county does own a little bit more.
So would we be able to do that with the existing property, or would we have to buy a little bit of property? Because I think there's a little bit of property for sale up, but I
Right.
just didn't know if we could do it
Right.
on the existing.
We're looking at ways to do it on the existing property.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so we're looking at, and as a lot of people know, the county owns a property that's a house known as the Landgraf House, and so that's kind of what we're studying as sort of the border
Maybe
of
stay on
this.
the side of the creek.
Sorry?
You wouldn't want to try to cross the creek.
No, sir. No, we're not talking about crossing the creek. But we're talking about just kind of lessening, there's a lot of grade change on that property, and so it's steep, basically. If we can get a little farther up the road, then that makes it easier to kind of deal with those grades a little bit more economically. But no, we're not talking about crossing the creek. Yeah, so that's those projects. And we are in the middle of getting some drawings together to look at those, and the next time I come here, I'll be able to show y'all what that recommendation is. Now, across the road, we are also, as part of this master plan, we're studying a project across that road, across Old Independence. So for the Judicial Center. We took a similar process. If y'all remember how we approached the ATS building recently, where we went and interviewed all of the different departments, we did a similar process for that. So we basically went and interviewed all of the county departments about their needs. We asked them, you know, if you were to grow, how would that happen? What's the most likely, you know, scenario? And then we kind of zoomed back out and we went over to the property across from the fairgrounds, which is adjacent to the jail, sheriff's office. And really looked at that property, having known the information from those interviews. So we were kind of going back and forth, looking at the site, hearing, you know, the needs. What I can say about those needs is that it's not a wish list. Those are very serious needs in our county. If you've ever been to jury duty, then you know that the court system has a lot of needs that are not currently served well here. But we just didn't want to take for granted that that was the perfect site, so we were going back and forth. What we do know is that is going to be the recommended site for that facility for a lot of reasons. So the departments that we met with, just so we can list them, district attorney, county attorney, all the courts and judges, so county and district court, county clerk, district clerk, adult probation, juvenile probation, and as we know, our constables are also located on that site, so we met with them as well. So I want to go kind of through some of those needs. But first, we visited a few facilities which we felt like could help us in this. And when I visit facilities, I like to look at facilities which are kind of like, you know, newest innovative technology, and then I also like to look at really local facilities. I like to talk to people who are saying, you know, we wish we had have done this, because that's really important information. So talking to the users is really important. We've visited those facilities, and one of the biggest, I guess the biggest pieces of advice we got from the larger counties was that they wished, if they hadn't, they wished they had connected to the jail. And I'm talking about like in the 1940s, the 1950s, 1960s. If they say, if we had done that, if we kind of had the courage to tackle something difficult, all these other things would have been easier later on. And I think that's the right answer. And so when you drive by that site and you kind of think about how this might work, you're going to see that south of the jail, there's a grade change. Okay, there's a hill that kind of goes up from the sheriff's office going toward Bluebell Road. And so we're looking at ways to handle that. It's going to be a tricky little puzzle, okay? It's not a flat site, but we believe that there are so many long-term benefits to keeping our courts and our inmates in the same location. We're studying controlled access, basically, both inside the building and also around the building. So there will be new roads that will support this on that site. New parking lots. I think there's a great opportunity to get some extra parking for the fair across the road, which will be really nice. But throughout the year, transport for our law enforcement is just going to be so much more efficient. Currently, bringing inmates for court to the courthouse, that's requiring additional personnel that could be doing something different. And so those are the things we're looking at. So in terms of how to do that, and I know I'm getting into some details here, but I just want to be clear about what we're proposing. We've studied a lot of options. What we know is that our current Sallyport at the sheriff's office is not suitable for modern transportation. So it was built in the 90s. It's a great facility. But when they, and the sheriff's here, so if I need clarification, I got it right back there. What we know is that when they transport more than one inmate and they use the van, then they are not able to do that in a secured environment inside the Sallyport because of the height. So they basically have to do that outside the Sallyport, which is not ideal. So what our solution may be is to renovate that Sallyport, which would at one time give them a little bit better secure environment where they can load and unload. It's a really good opportunity to upgrade that portion of the jail. And then at the same time, create a place where we can tie into the judicial center. So that could be on a second level. We're looking at some options on that. We don't have a good recommendation on that yet. But we do know, based on all accounts, we've talked to so many different people who've done this well and not well, connecting to the jail is the right answer. So these projects are significant. They're big projects. I think, having lived here for my whole life, our county has a history of being really conservative, and then when we do something, we do it right. This is one of those times. It's going to be a significant project. So the next time I see y'all, I'll bring you some plans and we can look at them. Do y'all have any questions or objections or anything that I can help
No,
clear up?
appreciate the
Yeah.
update.
Everything's good. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
okay.
All right.
No, I think, I would just say that I appreciate the work that you guys have done. I think it's thorough. I think the one thing that we were wanting was to hear from the folks that are gonna be utilizing the facilities and getting their feedback, because look, we're not in these offices day to day. That's the feedback we need, because their needs are to be accommodated for the public. And the public is going to be utilizing these facilities, and if we get that right, like you said, from the start, then we don't have to go back and do things that are necessary that we forgot. So
Yeah.
I appreciate the thoroughness.
Well, one thing I'll say about our county employees is they don't complain, at least not to outsiders. So there were no saying our facility now isn't great, but the needs, are obvious. And sometimes when you've been doing that for a very long time, you don't even really know what could be, But they were really transparent about, hey, look, in 2 years, we're gonna have 2 more offices, or there's a safety concern with the public crossover, or, attorneys need places to meet with their clients, things like that. So, they were great to work with. And yeah, they've been doing this for a long time, so they know their stuff, so. it's important to hear their point of view.
Sheriff Holloway, you've been part of this planning process. Is there anything you'd like to add to this today?
I think working with Katie and her group over there at Plan North has really opened our eyes to what our needs are and how we can best fill those needs. I like where the project stands right now, and I'm excited to see where we're going and what that footprint's gonna look like.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
Katie.
you. Item number 6, discussion and possible action on authorization to hire elections clerk approximately 1 month in advance of the current employee's anticipated departure in order to allow sufficient time for training, transition, and continuity of operations.
Good morning, Judge
Good
and
morning.
Commissioners.
Good
How are y'all?
morning.
So Miss Carol Jackson over in Elections Office is hiring, or would like to hire, an individual to train with Miss Janet Daniel, who is due to retire at the end of August. So it's a 6-week overlap. Approximate salary cost is gonna be about $4,700. Salary only, does not include benefits.
I guess the question is, for me, is that Ms. Jackson will be there to help train this person. So it's not leaving a vacancy in the office. And I'm wondering, since we don't have an election, what is the purpose?
Yeah, so my understanding is that Ms. Jackson is actually undergoing training, and it's a lot of off-site training at the state of the new election software, so that would leave the office empty if she was not here and there was not a new individual there. Initially, Janet was going to retire August 1st. She's extended that to the end of the month.
So when you say she wants to hire, so has she already posted the position and has
She
an
did.
offer and waiting?
She does, yes, ma'am.
So if we don't approve this month, that person would start September 1st?
Yes, ma'am.
And that person's okay? They're not gonna change their mind
The
between
individual-
now and then?
The individual knows that it's contingent on passing the Commissioner's Court. Yes, ma'am. And Miss Jackson's not here today because she's at training in Austin again for this new software.
So she intends to be out a lot, basically.
That's
when
my
this
understanding.
new person starts.
Yes, ma'am, that's my understanding.
That's my understanding of it when she brought it to me, that she's not going to be here a lot during this time.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
As the HR
Sure.
person,
Mhm.
2 weeks is usually typically about an overlap if there is one to learn a position. Am I correct? Most
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
time?
I would say something basic of admin level like this, 2 weeks would be sufficient, especially if you have a department head that's able to train. Yes, ma'am.
I'm a little confused when you said 6 weeks, and I thought the starting date proposed was August 1st to August 30th. No?
The employee's slated to start this Thursday, the 24th, July 24th.
So 6 weeks and how much of a financial impact?
It's $4,700.
So when you say that 2 weeks is sufficient for an admin position, is there something other than admin that this person's gonna be doing?
I don't know the function of Ms. Jackson's office. I'm just going off of what she stated as the needs of her office at this time with the additional training. I wish she were here today.
Well,
It would be helpful.
I will say, there's elections and voter registration and that sort of thing is not normal admin in other departments.
Understandable.
So it's, I wouldn't mind a month, but 6 weeks seems to be excessive.
6 weeks seems like a lot.
Yeah, if that's something that y'all wanna look at is reducing that, we can definitely have that conversation with both Ms. Jackson and the potential new employee.
Can that be done in this motion?
I think you can amend your motion as long as it's less than the time
Yeah.
that was noticed.
I mean,
And it says approximately,
Mhm.
so I think you have some.
Yeah, there's approximate.
Yep.
Do y'all wanna look at the period somewhere in between, like August the 4th through
I
the
mean,
month of August?
2 weeks, and then some of y'all will remember, Commissioner Hannah, if you remember, because I was kind of a stickler over this back in, was that 21? I think 2 weeks is more than enough time. Now, if we had had a conversation with, Ms. Jackson,
Sure.
so that we could understand kind of some of the training involved to get a better understanding of why it might take more
Mhm.
than 2 weeks, I think that would allow us to make a better
Do you-
educated, informed decision.
Do you know Ms. Jackson's schedule for next week?
I do not, no, sir.
I'd make, entertain a motion to delay this a week until Ms. Jackson can come present it herself.
I think that would be sufficient. Yeah. I make a motion to table, agenda item 6.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, discussion and possible action on the approval of a budget amendment from salary contingency for the, we don't have, that's been, table this one as well. Is item number 7 to be tabled, please?
I make a motion to table item number 7.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, discussion and possible action on the memorandum of understanding between MHMR Authority and Brazos County and Washington County Sheriff's Office. This has been through the county attorney's office, has been vetted. These are renewals, actually, year to year.
Is the only change Mr. Ballard's name on this
That's
document?
what
Yes,
Yes.
I believe so, and we also had a note about the indemnity provision, because we're starting to dig into those a little bit more.
Right, there was a small change there as well, which
Yes.
we made, so that was it.
And what was the change?
I don't know if it was actually made on, I never saw the document after it came back.
Yes, it was.
But was it changed, Judge?
This,
So I'm looking to be on the next.
okay, it's, page 2. Just a minute, I'll find it. It's a time limit.
Is it the Washington County, oh. Time limit?
It's,
We suggested to add to the extent allowed by applicable law
that's correct,
to
that's it.
the.
It's the last sentence. It's in the last sentence.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
see it.
Okay.
So as
Okay.
long as that's in there, we're,
So otherwise, nothing changed? Okay. All right, I make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between MHMR Authority of Brazos County and the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, discussion on a formal notice from Industry Telephone Company for a new service line installation across the county right-of-way of Dead End Lane, Precinct 4. Mr. Stokes.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This is going to be a notice for a fiber service installation across Dead End Lane at 1777. This is approximately 3/4 of a mile north of the Wildwood Road intersection. This is just a standard service crossing the roadway. They're going to bore across. They're going to be below 24 inches whenever they do so to meet all of our requirements. This is just a follow-up from all the new fiber that's being installed in that area, getting some new services off of it. No handholds will be proposed for this one. This is going to be tying into an existing handhold on site.
Oh, there's a handle on this other side?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna tie
And
in.
so is the bore that's under, is the pipe big enough to do more than one fiber
Fiber
line?
run?
I would have to ask that if they can do a secondary pull. Typically, there is enough space, mainly from not point of a standpoint of a spacing as they would do for a water line. But typically, you're going to have to pull it through, so you're going to have a little extra space. If it's too tight, then they're going to have problems. So, I would imagine they would be, but I can get confirmation on
Well, I would
that.
just ask that because of this, Mr. Stoltz. You know, this is going to be just like water.
Ongoing.
Correct.
We're going to have
Exactly.
these all underneath our roadways, and it just creates a problem for us, not only for us when we are managing these roads, but when we're rehabilitating these roads or when we're doing any kind of road work, it becomes problematic. And so I think if we can reduce the amount of them in terms of them creating.
It could become problematic down the road. Let me ask you this, you know, if we were ever to do a rehab, and, I mean, I doubt it would happen, because it's, you know,
Well, there's
that's
other
our
things.
board underneath the road. But in the event that we damaged something, how does that work?
They charge us.
Oh, you're talking about if we're actually out there
They would
working?
charge, yeah, like,
Yes.
let's say 10 years from now, we've gotta tear it up, and somehow we go deep enough and, you know, damage
If that
that.
is
How
the
does
case,
that work?
then yes, we would get a bill for that.
Yeah.
Phone
No.
companies.
See,
Same
it
thing.
could become a problem down the road if we end up with a lot of it.
Yes, it's one of those things that from an operations standpoint and maintenance perspective of the county, it's definitely preferable to not have utilities within the right of way. But on the flip side, they have a right within certain parameters that this county sets for them. But one thing I will make note of with them is I will contact them and make sure that they do have enough space that they can upsize or add additional service connections in that conduit without actually having to do additional bores.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
All right?
Okay. Any other discussion?
No.
Item number 10, discussion and possible action of the approval of order of public interest and the plat revision for the Anton subdivision in James Schreier Survey A-0098 Precinct 4.
Yes, sir. So this is going to be a replat of the Anton subdivision. Explicitly, we're looking at Lot 2 of the Anton subdivision, which was originally 4.116 acres. There is an additional lot currently in place just to the northeast of Lot 2, and that particular one is 1.452. All we're looking at doing here is we're not looking to create any lots. We're looking to amend the lot line between those two. It wants to be shifted to shift the existing home onto the lot. We've looked at the OSSF in the area, that'd be the septic facility, and this is going to be within the setbacks parameters when shifting that lot line. We've worked with them on that. We've also been in contact with TxDOT, bless you, TxDOT, and they are willing to allow a driveway access, but it would have to be shared between the two. This has been communicated with the landowner, and they're working with TxDOT on how that will be addressed for the new lot, or the lot shift, I guess you'd say. Along with this one, this is a replat, so there's additional requirements that have to be met anytime this goes forward to meet Texas Local Government Code 232. With that in mind, we have had this posted on our website for a month. We've sent out mailers within 200 foot to all landowners to meet those requirements, and there is no public interest being modified in this case. There's no public park, no right-of-way being amended. This is purely from a standpoint of a lot line adjustment. So it's pretty simplistic in nature, but obviously there's a lot of little steps that must be met statutorily, and those have all been addressed.
So let me ask you this. So if you say there's only one road access, that's the current access that's there?
Yes, so there's actually two that's on the proposed Lot 3R, one of which was on the original Lot 2 of the Anton. With that shifting it down, there is no existing driveway access to the Lot 2R. So they would have to shift that down and have a shared access to both Lot 2R and Lot 3R based on conversations with TxDOT. Which that is the regulatory authority. They have that right.
Good.
That's it?
I make a motion to approve the order of public interest and the plat revision for the Anton subdivision of James Shear Survey A-0098 Precinct 4.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Stoltz?
Yes, sir.
I need to visit with you shortly after court, if we could do that, please.
Yes, sir, I'll be here.
Okay, thank you. Item number 11, presentation of Sheriff's Office monthly report. Sheriff Holloway.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
We'll be going over the monthly report for the Sheriff's Office for June of 2025. Then we'll follow that up with a brief comparison recap of what we saw in 2024 and what we're seeing the first 6 months of 2025. So let's go ahead and jump into page 1 of our NIBRS report. For our Group A offenses, we saw a 94% clearance rate of 16 offenses, which was down from 21 offensive last month, and 8 arrests, which is the same as last month. On our Group B offenses, we saw an 88% clearance rate of 81 offenses, which was down from 102 last month. As you recall, that was quite a spike last month in our Class B offenses. And we had 74 arrests, which was down from 90. Overall, we had an 89% clearance rate for June 2025 with 97 offenses, 86 cleared, and 82 arrests. We did have 1 juvenile offense that was cleared, so we got a 100% clearance rate on that with 1 detainment. If we go to page 2, that'll be our activity report. Some of the things I want to point out on this is for our jail division, we saw a decrease in the total number of inmates booked into jail from 133 to 113.
Hallelujah.
Our average daily population decreased from 98 in May to 97 in June. And we currently have 3 vacancies in the jail. As of this week, we have some applicants that we're prepared to make some job offers to, so we should have 2 hired here real soon. The second part of that activity report is for our law enforcement division. We currently have 4 vacancies in the law enforcement division. Some of the comparative categories include our assist calls decreased from 55 to 46. Our false alarms fell from 59 to 32. Our mental health transports increased from 3 the previous month to 6. Our motor vehicle crashes also decreased from 43 to 26. Our loose livestock calls went from 51 up to 53 for the month. And our overall traffic enforcement remained fairly consistent. Citations went down from 130 to 128, and our warnings went from 460 to 438 for the month. On our arrest warrants served, that increased from 56 to 63. And overall, our incident responses decreased from 2,725 to 2,687 for the month. For our CID division, our case reports filed with prosecutors increased from 139 to 144. And then page 3.
Can I ask you a question real fast?
Yes.
The mental transports,
Yes.
what exactly is that when you say that? Where are you taking them?
Okay.
Are you bringing them back? What?
Yeah, it's there's a lot of layers in the mental health transports. We receive an EDO, an emergency detention order, from a judge. That EDO tells us what to do with this individual who is experiencing a mental crisis. Sometimes it's transporting them to a local facility here, which would be Baylor Scott and White Emergency Room, so they can get the immediate help that they need. Following that, if we get a commitment order, then we transport that individual to a facility somewhere that has space to take that person for the evaluation.
And that doesn't happen very often, right?
It does happen fairly often.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
With these 6 that we're talking about here, these are ones that we actually took to
Yeah, well, that's what I meant.
to somewhere.
Having
Right.
the availability
Yeah, you have
to
to
move them.
Exactly, and we do have those individuals who do have an EDO on them or a commitment order, but no bed is available and they have
Right.
committed a crime, so now we have them in our jail.
In our jail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's one of the main reasons why that agreement with MHMR is so vitally important, because we have that staff officed in our jail to provide the care for those individuals who are in our jail. On any given day, we have anywhere from 39, sometimes up to 60% of our inmate population receiving some type of medication for their mental illness.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, and wasn't it during our budget meeting, isn't it like 46 or
I
was
think
it
she
more
said
than
30
that?
to 70%.
Are on,
Yeah.
are on psychotropics?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cause she said 60, but it wasn't 60. I think it was like closer to 40.
It's closer to 40, right. And on any given day, it fluctuates.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we're seeing. So
So,
about half of our
About
inmate
half of
population.
your population is on psychotropics.
Yes.
So.
What if you have an order to hold them because they're having a mental crisis, but they did not commit a crime?
Okay. Then they will not go in our jail.
Okay.
Okay. We only put criminals in our jail. All right. So then we would have to work with MHMR to find a facility within this. We take them as far as Waco, as Bryan College Station, Houston area, San Antonio, Austin, wherever we can find a facility that has space for them.
But often, like, the one repeat, you know who I'm talking about, this person has mental health issues. They're nonviolent. They get picked up for trespassing and things like
Right.
that. And these are the people that don't end up in our jail, but I don't know how many times this person has just gone. I mean, you know, obviously we've had conversations with Senator Colcourse and stuff like that, but that's something that we all need to remain cognizant of, because these are people that, you know, have a high recidivism rate of coming in and out of our jail,
Right.
and there's really no solution to that problem
Yeah.
yet.
Right, there's no short-term solution to that.
Yeah.
I know that the state is working on expanding and building new bed
I
facilities,
was gonna
treatment
ask
facilities.
if there's been any
But that's years down the
update.
road.
Yeah.
So that doesn't solve our problem right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then if we can go to page 3, this is our City of Burton activity report. Our overall activity decreased with 111 responses compared to 135 last month. The biggest changes were in special assignments and foot patrols. On page 4 is our crimes graph. We saw a slight dip in the Group A and Group B offenses. We really like that to continue, but as you can tell, that trend is still creeping up. Page 5 is our property crimes. We did have 2 thefts reported in the county during June, and 0 burglaries. Page 6 is our traffic enforcement and crashes graph. So what I want to point out here is that we had 26 crashes during the month of June, and that's the lowest that we've had this year so far. We really like that trend. That means less people are involved in motor vehicle crashes on our roadways. Page 7 is our criminal arrest graph. And what we see here is Group A offense arrests remain the same at 8. So it's not going down, but it's still trending up. And Group B offense arrests saw a slight decrease of 16 arrests compared to last month, which was a large jump. That was an anomaly right there, the 90 that we had for May. All right, page 8 is our breakdown in jail bookings by agency. We'll see here that the Sheriff's Office booked in 71 persons into our jail. Brenham PD booked in 40, and our other law enforcement partners booked in 2. And page 9 is our average daily population. We'll see in June it fell to 97 from 98 in May. And page 10 breaks out our jail bookings by gender. Females, we had 24, which is down from 26 the previous month. We had 1 pregnant female who was booked into jail. And males, 89, down from 107 the previous month. And then page 11 is our City of Burton graph, and we're averaging 107.5 calls per month this year to the City of Burton and that immediate surrounding areas. We have any questions on the monthly report? Okay. And before I get into the activity comparison report from last year and the first 6 months of this year, I'd just like to make a public service announcement. We are getting reports of scam calls. Scam calls where people are purporting themselves to be from the Washington County Sheriff's Office. They're talking to other person who they call telling them they failed to show up for jury duty, they have a subpoena out for them or something like that, and demanding payment over the telephone. This is what I want to say. That is not the way your sheriff's office handles business. If you do receive a call like that, one, I would recommend if you don't recognize the number, don't answer it. That's what we have voicemail for. Okay? Two, if you do receive that call, we would like to know about it. And so if you do receive that call and you think it's a scam, which it is, because that's not the way we do business, call our office. We would like to know that, and our office number is 979-277-6251. If you want to verify that the information that you had received on this telephone is true and accurate, I can tell you up front it's not. But and want to encourage people, we do not do financial transactions over the telephone when somebody just calls you out of the blue. And we receive just an increased number of these calls.
So would it be beneficial for us to have that on our county website so that people would have access to, when they are looking for help, to have that notice on our county website?
Yes.
So I think maybe get with Mr. Harris, because he can put that on our website.
Absolutely.
And get that number on there. Look, I know some people personally who've been impacted by this, and it's they're not. They said they're getting a lot better at doing it. Before, we were. You could definitely tell. Now they've become a little bit wiser in how they handle these calls.
Yeah, exactly. So it's apparent that they're looking at our website and they're pulling names off of that. They've used my name before. Sheriff Holloway wants you to pay this right now. Yeah, that's not how we do things. Or they'll pick another name off of our roster or something like that, and they'll give a fake badge number, things like that.
Yeah, they're giving badge numbers.
And in fact, when the person who's receiving the call says, "I want to speak to a supervisor," they will mimic a transfer call to somebody else claiming to be the supervisor. Yeah.
They're not gonna call
Or
them.
we could be
I
like.
get enough of them on email, I don't need phone
What?
calls. I get enough scam emails.
I get a lot of on email.
Oh,
I get a lot of
gosh.
toll ones too, which is some things like.
Yeah, that toll
Easy
violation
toll,
is
text
pretty
message.
prominent
Yeah,
as well.
the
Yeah,
toll
that's a text
The
message.
toll ones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I drive into Houston so much, in the spring and the fall, and I just started getting a slew of them, and those are getting better and better.
Yeah,
You
right.
know.
And the sheriff's office does not collect those monies.
Yeah.
If something is owed, it goes through the court system,
Courts,
right?
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks for the warning.
it's getting worse.
Yep.
And
All right.
if the news media will put that out as well, we'd
Yes.
appreciate it.
All right, and so now I want to jump into this comparison report from the total numbers of 2024 to what we're seeing so far in 2025. Some of the things that I want to point out is that our overall Group A offenses are trending down. We had a total of 293 last year. So far this year, the first 6 months, we've had 97. So we really like the way that that's trending. Some of the things I want to point out is our sex offenses. We had 14 all of last year. This year, we've only had 3 reported. That means we have fewer sexual assault victims. And our assaults, if you see that, we had 228 of all of last year, and so far this year, 79. So we really like the way that that's trending, along with our burglaries. 10 all last year. So far this year, we've only had 2. Our thefts are last year's 30. So far this year, we've had 11 motor vehicle thefts. Last year, we had 9. First 6 months of this year, we've had 2. Arson last year, we had 2. So far this year, we've had 0. So we really like where that particular group of offenses is trending. However, Group B offenses, we see a little different picture here. With our overall Group B offenses, last year we had a total of 607, and so far this year we have 430. And so that's trending up overall. And some of those categories that are trending up are our criminal mischief staying about the same. Our weapons violations. Last year we had a total of 6, so far this year we have 11. Our drug and narcotics are trending about the same. Our DWI, or our intoxication offenses, last year we had a total of 47. So far, first 6 months, we've had 40. And so that's, looks like, you know, that will double as the year goes. Our family offenses, we had 0 last year. These are nonviolent family offenses. So far, we've had 2 this year. And all those other NIBRS offenses, trespass, runaway, things of that nature, we had 607 last year. And so far this year, we've had 430. And so that's a real, that's a trend that's going up that we would really like to see come down.
It's
Sheriff,
287.
I think you jumped lines there, your numbers.
It's 287.
287.
287, okay, 287 to 250
Right,
for our,
okay.
the nonviolent family offenses are family threats. That's where somebody's threatening another family member, not necessarily putting hands on them or impeding circulation or breathing.
How much of that, number is runaway?
What's that?
Do you know how much of of those numbers are runaways as opposed to trespass?
Well, we don't have that broken out in this particular report,
Yeah.
but yeah, we do have that
I'm
information.
just curious
Yeah.
because I know that we get a lot of them over there at the facility in my in precinct 2,
Mhm.
and I wanted to know if that's still a big problem.
Yeah.
Is what I.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and we do take those missing children, runaways. You call them a runaway, we approach it as a missing child. We've got to go and do everything that we can to find this child. Okay. Overall, our total Group A and B offenses, we had 900 for last year. So far this year's 527. So overall, offenses are trending up. We like where our juvenile offenses are. Last year we had a total of 12. So far this year we've only had 3. All right. And the next page. It's our activity report, our comparison for last year. You know, if we kind of go down through this, you can see where we're kind of trending about the same. Some things are going up and some things are going down. So one thing I want to point out on this is our pregnant females booked in the jail. Last year we had a total of 3. So far this year, first 6 months, we've had a total of 4. Inmates, our average daily population from last year was 113. So far this year, it's at 95, and so we're seeing that come down. Our inmates transferred to TDC, that's trending about the same. 102 last year, 52 so far this year, and our EMS calls to the jail. Last year we had a total of 89. This year we've had a total of 26. So that's coming down, and that's due to our jail staff handling those situations in the jail without having to have EMS present. And our blood draws by staff and EMS, last year we had a total of 66. So far this year we've had 44.
So I wanted to ask you about that because I know we've had several conversations. Is our staff not drawing blood?
They are drawing blood, yes. Yep.
Oh, but you've included staff and,
Staff and EMS, right.
So
Yeah, so
EMS
that's
still
a-
does
that-
blood draw?
Well,
Well,
we do
yeah,
blood draws
if
when
it's-
staff is not on,
when
during that window,
it's
that
in the
11
early,
to 7.
you know, the
Right,
early
if we have
morning hours,
staff on
they
duty
have
in the
to go
jail,
there.
our staff will do the blood draws.
That's right.
If our staff is not present in the jail, our medical staff, then we call on EMS for that. Another big change is our inmate transport by our staff to the emergency room, medical and dental appointments. Last year we had a total of 27, this year is only 6. So we like where that's going. And our jail vacancies last year, we averaged 5. So far this year, we've averaged 7. And for the law enforcement division, our vacancies for deputies or law enforcement officers was averaged 4 last year. This year, we're averaging 2. And some of these things that we're going to look at here, like I said before, some are staying pretty consistent with what we expect. Some are going down and some are going up. Some of the ones that I just really wanted to point out are our welfare concerns. Last year we had 597. This year we're already at 343. Our motor vehicle crashes. Last year we had 547. This year we had 242. So that's trending about what we would expect. However, we do like where that graph is going right now. Usually when we get into the warmer months, there's more people on the road and we see more crashes, but that is coming down. And let's see, our livestock calls. I know we've talked about this several times in Commissioners Court. Last year we had 871 loose livestock calls. So far this year, 421, so that's trending about the same. Our animal bite incidents are trending about the same. We had 50 last year. So far we've had 24 this year. But our overall traffic enforcement, we're seeing an increase there. So last year we had, as far as citations goes, we wrote 1,234. So far this year is 724 citations. But our warnings, our warning tickets for all of last year was 2,738, and we've already exceeded that this year in the first 6 months with 2,959. Our reckless driver calls also seem to be trending up as well. Our warrant service are staying about the same. Our death investigations, we had 15 last year, and so far the first 6 months we've had 5. I say only 5, but you know, any death is a tragedy. So we've had 5 this year. Our call response to the city of Burton, you'll see we're trending up there. We had a total of 814 last year. So far this year we have 645. And our total incident responses. Last year we had a total of 21,701. This year so far we've had 16,016. So that's trending up as well.
One of the things I just wanted to ask if y'all could add to this report, you know, based on the number of calls to Burton, you know, because as we see fluctuations, that number might look different, but when you compare it as a percentage of your total call volume, I think that's going to provide the court a lot more clarity on what that is really looking like. So if you could include that, that would be really helpful, I feel like, for the court to see.
Okay. And the other 2 categories down there is from our CID. 516 criminal cases last year. We're already at 244 this year. And case reports filed with the prosecutors, 1,484 last year, and we are already up to 818 this year. So overall, we're seeing an increase in certain things.
Yeah.
But on some of those more major things, we're seeing a decrease. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Any
Sheriff.
questions?
Discussion?
No?
All right.
Thank you.
All right,
Sheriff.
thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 12, presentation of the following monthly reports. County Clerk, Mr. Prenzler.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Before I jump in, I wanted to give y'all an update on, you'll notice the active guardianships is still blank. Before we went in and made changes, we thought we had the problem solved. We reached out to the OCA since that's where we're pulling our numbers from. Just to get clarification to make sure that everything's being reported right. Turns out our software does not have that line item in it to report active guardianships. So diving into one problem has discovered
Yes.
another. So we're gonna need to work with them to see how we can fix that issue so we can get a
Yeah.
accurate number. We thought we were just gonna be able to change
That's,
change them to granted, but
E-file or
EDOC.
E-doc.
Yep.
That's, I always get them all.
Yeah, so that the line they want is there's 4
E-
options, but our software only has 3, so the active option is not
Okay.
there. So,
Whack-a-mole.
I don't know when we'll be able to get
Whack-a-mole,
there,
that's it.
but that's that for you. So as far as how we did last month, we took in 64,783 and 90 cents, which has been tracking. We've been in the mid-60s all year long. That's about an average June for us. Public records, we took in 600, which June is a busy month for us, but as far as June's in the past, we're kind of on a downward trend, and we're kind of seeing that across the board and everything. Same with plats. We just had 6 of those filed. Criminal cases, 54 filed, 53 disposed. Civil cases, 13 filed, and those were mostly bond forfeitures. And we had 2 of those disposed. Where we did see an increase was in the probate docket. We had 16 of those filed, which is almost the most we've had in a month this year. Births have ticked up from last month, which was a very low month for births. We're up to 23 of those recorded last month. And where we saw an increase were deaths recorded. We had 35 of those last month. Marriage license, we did 17. We're kind of coming down off of spring wedding season.
Yeah.
So it's easing
Don't
up
pop
there.
in
Right.
For the fall.
Right, yeah, it'll kind of trim back up as it cools
Are
down.
you saying it's too hot to get married?
Exactly.
Okay.
I made a mistake with having a lover.
Online vital request, we only had 9 of those. We'll expect those to go back up as we get closer to school. People need birth certificates for school and things like that, so. That's all I've got for you, unless you've got any questions.
No.
Thank you, sir.
Nick. Thank you.
Okay, district clerk report. Okay, he's not here. Let's take a quick look and review. Any questions or comments about the district clerk's report?
No, I would just say,
No,
I'm glad to see one.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
glad to see one as well.
Yeah,
So-
and I'm sure once she gets her,
And she
she
gets
gets settled, we'll start seeing her come home
Right,
to report.
looks pretty good. Okay, Justice of the Peace report. Any questions or comments about the Justice of the Peace report? Hearing none. Auditor's report. Ms. Hollis?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So at the first part of my report, page 3, TJ, it's the sales tax collected. In June of this year, we collected $443,865, which is up from last June by about 13%. And then if you keep going to D, which is gonna show the monthly report totals, so that's gonna be county clerk, district, the JPs, environmental, and expo. The county clerk for, so far this year is about 400,000 with collections. District clerk, 114. JP1, 113,584. JP2, 82,000. JP3, 87, almost 88,000. And 50,000 for JP4. Environmental, 53,000. And the expo, right under 152,000. For the revenue collected, there's still about 51% remaining to collect for the general fund. And then EDS is about 64%. On expenses, the general fund, 47% remaining to spend, and EDS 53% remaining.
Okay, any questions or comments?
No?
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Okay, tax assessor collectors report, Ms. Gaskamp.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We did 863 title transfers for June. We did 4,765 registrations for June. We gave out 166 permanent placards and 35 temporary placards. And that amount is included in the registration totals. I did want to mention, everybody is saying people are getting calls, and people are also getting text from the DMV
Yes. I
about
got
past
one of
due
those
toll
too.
fees.
Yes.
And the DMV never tries to collect
Yeah.
toll fees.
Yeah.
So if y'all will include that on the
That's
memo.
what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
It happened about 2 months ago, and now it's happening again.
Yeah.
They're pretty persistent about it, too.
Mhm.
That's what it was, DMV.
Amazing how hard people work not to work.
Sound like personal experience.
We
So either
only
way, they have to work.
collected $175 in TABC fees, and I am working on a past due account, and it is at the point where a regional officer is going to visit that location and present the amount that is owed and past due. And that merchant is, his license is up for renewal in August, and he will not be able to renew his license until those fees are paid.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Okay, treasurer's report. Ms. Kramer,
Good morning.
good morning.
As you can see, the first 3 pages of this report are all of the cash reports, the balances and everything, and then the next 3 or 4 pages are all of the investments and stuff that we have broken down by each investment, and then followed by the bonds that are pledged to us by the bank that they're required to do. We're working on that, getting up to that 2 million. I'm at 961 through June, but
Yay.
I don't know if I'll make 2.
Almost.
Well, depends on how much comes in the end of the year for taxes.
Yeah.
But it's looking good. Everything balances.
Okay, any questions or comments?
No, thank you, Peggy.
Okay, constable's report. One thing I want to point out on the constable's report, last month, we didn't think we'd received a constable's report. That was an error. It was kind of in the transition phase in my office, to be frank about it. And so I've included a copy of it at each one of your places this morning. There was a constable's report for May, if you'd like to review it. And of course, then we have June also. Are there any questions or comments about the constable's reports?
None here.
Okay. Elections report.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Any questions or comment about the elections report? Okay. Veterans report, Mr. Purcern.
Good morning, Commissioners,
Good morning.
Judge. It's been a fast last month. I don't know, hours seem like minutes to fly by, but
When you turn 54, that happens every day. I'm just saying. I'm experienced.
It only accelerates.
Just saying, it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
Just
But
wait.
typical last month, we had 249 contacts and 76 forms completed on behalf of veterans. Depends. We did military funeral honors for veteran Edward Newman. Contacts and forms at 72, and contacts at 254, averaging on the year, above average for the past 5 years.
Mhm.
Any questions?
No, we just thank you for your hard work and.
I know the
Well, I'm
vet-
happy to do it.
I know
I have
the
a
veterans
great
appreciate
constituency
you.
to do that for.
The
we
veterans
love
and
that.
their families really appreciate what you do. Thank you so much.
Our
Thank you.
community is very fortunate to have you.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 13, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of accounts payable.
Okay. Well, I come to you with yet another change. The total you show there for 581 something, it's actually 580, 759, 56. There's two changes. One was for a reimbursement for someone that canceled on a culvert fee or something. We were paying them back.
Right.
And it was $50 they had to pay the inspection fee, but we thought it was 50 off that total, so it wasn't. It should have been 575. The
Okay.
original was 525, so we had to pay him the difference, make it up to the 575. And then there is, Catherine caught a payment that had already been made to Intech for $355.10.
Okay.
So what's your new total?
5807596, which is the difference in upping the 50 and minusing the 355.10.
Right.
And I have a new form
Bill
for you.
Kendall wanted a refund on the culvert.
I'll make a motion to approve accounts payable for $580,759.56.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 14.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned. Okay, we'll need a break till about 20 minutes.